Hey everyone, welcome to another video on the channel, and in today's video I got a positive video talking to you guys about the new teaser that came out over on Twitter from Wizard101. Now, this teaser, when I first saw it, like a lot of the other teasers, I was like, okay, this isn't very interesting. So I went to sleep, and then my girlfriend was talking to me about this and speculating what it might be. And then she was like, well, what do you think, Liam? So I decided to talk to her about it, and I wrote down a couple of things for the video, and I want to discuss what I think it's going to be. So in case you're unfamiliar, this is the teaser, I'll put it up on screen, of the new expansion coming to Wizard101 pretty soon. We are expecting Test Realm to drop in roughly about a week or two, already said over in the PvP Discord, so looking forward to that. The main selling point of this update for King's Isle is the fact of the matter that we're getting over 100 new spells this update, which is insane. We've never seen anything like that before. The only comparable thing we've seen to that in terms of size is probably the Rochambeau update, which doesn't even come close to what this is. So honestly, really excited for it. And before I even get into my theories and what I think about this, I want you guys to drop your comments down there below and tell me what you think about this. What are your theories behind this and all? I know my girlfriend thinks it's like a different universe or maybe like a multiverse or something, which is quite a theory, but let's talk about what I think now. So the first thing I thought of when I saw this image originally, again, wasn't much. However, after looking at it and investigating some things, I figured it might be younger versions of the trees we have in Ravenwood. Now, I believe this theory simply gets debunked pretty quickly, simply because if you look at some of the trees, they just don't look like anything of their older parts in Ravenwood. For example, if we look at Mortis or the Death Tree here, you can see he clearly has his left eye right here on the screen, but in the screenshot his left eye is like, you know, scratched out essentially. So I don't think a scar like that would simply just be undone and heal, and there's a lot of stuff like that along with the other trees as well. So I think that theory of them being like younger versions is just kind of debunked right away, unfortunately. Then the next theory I had was the fact of the matter that this might actually be like a time capsule or a time jump, which is kind of what Val was talking about with her different dimension theory. But basically, we hear throughout the game and the spiral the fact of the matter that there was the first world, and then we are in the next world, I believe, right now, where like I am in the spiral right now, you and I. But basically, I think that these trees might actually be the first trees in a previous world. And to my knowledge, the only tree that has carried over, the only people that carried over from the first world was like Old Cobb, Grandmother Raven, and Bartleby. The actual school specific trees did not carry over to my understanding. I could be absolutely wrong on this, but I think this honestly is a pretty good theory in my opinion. And you know, we see a lot of multiverse stuff just in media in general, so we might see Wiz try and dabble in that here in terms of going back to like the first world and, you know, getting a flashback on what that might be like. It'd be really cool in my opinion. Now, probably the biggest theory that I don't see people talking about, and this is the last thing I figured out when I was really studying the image, but this image right here is actually very much so related to Rochambeau. Now, most of you watching this video probably don't know what Rochambeau is, and again, I say this every time, check out my Rochambeau guides on the channel. That's going to be the future of Wiz and such. But basically, why I say this is if you look at the right side, you see the fact of the matter that these are star schools, right? Look at the Star Blade. The Star Blade is Death, Life, and Storm. Now, if you look at the left side, there's actually no, you know, moon, star, or sunblade on the left side, right? Because sunblade is life, fire, myth, and moonblade is myth, ice, death. But on the left side here, we have fire, ice, and myth, which is not a thing. So my point is this could be partially related to the whole like astral thing in this update, where they are confirmed to be expanding on like the moon school, the sun school, and stuff like that, which I think is honestly really cool. And I think a lot of players are excited for that, including myself. But the more important part here is the right side. It's a star school, right? Which means it is all blade related, right? Death, life, and storm all synergize with blades. Now, look at the left side, and if you do PvP or do Rochambeau or advanced content, you'll probably be able to, you know, put 2 and 2 together. But basically, the left side is trap identity schools when the right side is blade identity schools. So what I think is going to happen here is we might see some kind of time jump, but the devs are going to use this expansion to introduce Rochambeau and advanced content to the entire game as a whole, which I think is really good, because I get videos and comments all the time on my stream, on my channel, being like, what are you talking about? Like, ice should have frostbite, death should have poison, storm should have enfeeble, yada yada. And these players, no offense, but they clearly just don't understand the way the game is going with Rochambeau in the future. So I'm really happy that the devs are actually going to put this into the game and, you know, make a tutorial out of it, hopefully, because they said they do want to do that. And this image right here kind of leads perfectly into them doing that, which I think is great. So yeah, just to recap here, I think we might see a time jump perhaps, but I think they're also going to use this time to introduce Rochambeau to the entire whole of the game, which I think is, again, good, because it's been kind of weird that players don't really understand what Rochambeau is, and some players do. It's really made this divide in terms of like content creators and the Wiz community, which I don't think needs to be there. But yeah, I think this is definitely going to be an introduction to Rochambeau and stuff like that, and they're going to keep it basic with traps and blades, because, well, what do you do in PvE? You trap and you blade. You don't really hot, you don't really dot, you don't really threefold, you don't really, you know, you don't really shield gambit, stuff like that. They're just keeping it very simple with the blades on the right and then traps on the left, which again makes sense for KingStyle to do. Stuff like this, it's really fun because there's a lot of, you know, lore, theory speculation, which I think is great. And I think that, again, unites the Wiz community, which I think could be really good, because in terms of PvP, PvE, Rochambeau, legacy, advanced content, standard content, a lot of the game is divided right now, right? So I think stuff like this to make the community come together is just great. But what do you guys think in the comments below? What are your theories of this stuff? Do you think I'm absolutely insane with my theories right here on the channel? If you made it this far, leave a like and a sub. I would really appreciate it. I try to post every day, if not every other day. I just want to say apologies for the lack of uploads the past like week or so. I just genuinely haven't had any. I've just kind of had like a writer's block, and there's not really any content to cover in Wiz. Not that I've already haven't done, you know. So we're kind of just all waiting on the update right now to happen. Again, it should be out the test realm in about a week or two is what the devs said. So that is great. You know, put your noties on. I will be covering that in the channel here on the channel. And yeah, hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and take care, guys.